I'm nervous. Oh no. We practically should have been prepped. Why did I
asked for a pre-production meeting. She said, oh no.
You know me best like no one else. So what I gotta do?
Hey everyone, I'm so excited to be hosting my first interview with the one and only Khafira. So welcome to my beautiful abode here in New York, New York. Okay, so let's talk EP. Let's talk about Sagittarius Babey. It was just released on
August 4th, 2020. It's available everywhere on all platforms, streaming, on all stream platforms and all digital platforms. Sagittarius Babey.
Okay, say it again. So the title is Sagittarius
Babey.
Babey. Okay, now why Sagittarius Babey?
So I always, whenever I talk to anybody that like is dear to me or anything, I say baby, B-A-B-E-Y, instead of a baby, which is B-A-B-Y.
Like baby,
like my baby.
baby.
And for Sagittarius, I'm a Saggy, and I love zodiac signs. I was taught young age astrology, Virgo, Saggy. So I was like, I have to do a song about it. And everyone knows me as someone who like calculates their zodiac sign. So Sagittarius Babey.
Well, I think it's super fun. I mean, definitely when you first brought it to my attention, I was like, yes, it's so cute and it so fits your personality.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about the project. So you have how many songs do you have? And then take us through each of those songs.
So I have 4 songs. The first song is Without You, featuring the one and only Pilar Freeman, my mama. She is a voicemail in the beginning, and it's basically just about our relationship and how like life is going to be without one another, and that's like not even anything I can imagine. And then the second track that I have is Sunshine. I actually started 3 years ago when I was about 15 years old, and I wrote the chorus and everything. And then I revisited it during quarantine and was able to write that, and so I was really happy about that. And the third is Our Vibes, inspired by my beau, the person I'm dating now. And so, yeah, that was really awesome for me too. That was a track that was actually made for me a year ago, but I just revisited it again during quarantine. And the fourth song, Sagittarius Babey, was definitely on a whim. It was like I wanted to do something that was inspired. I was listening to Princess Nokia. I was listening to different artists that kind of had that like swag where it's like I like him too. Yeah. And you just have fun with lyrics and you just go for it. So Sagittarius Babey was created within that week of recording, and I was like, that's really what it's gonna be.
Okay, so I actually really enjoy, non-biased opinion, of course, unbiased opinion. I really do enjoy all 4 songs, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I think that they all bring a different sort of like vibe. You know, it's like a different mood, and although I do like to hear them in order, it leaves me wanting more, because I feel like, gosh, okay, I want to know more about the story of like, even though it is you and I feel like as a mom, you can really relate to that. Like other people can really relate to that, you know? And then Sunshine gives you the vibe of like, I just want to be in, you know, like LA, cruising down the street. Like I just want to be at the beach, you know what I mean? Like just vibing out or whatever. And then with Our Vibes, like I think that it was, obviously I knew that it was influenced or, you know, inspired by your beau, and I thought that that was so cool because it didn't only reflect like a teenage young love. It just felt very like vibey, you know, like it had a bounce to it, and I felt very like I was grooving with it, you know. And then Saggy Babey blew me away because I felt like, yes, this is exactly what we want to hear, you know. And I think for you as an artist, it really displays the sort of like artistry that, you know, Baby, I felt like, oh my God, like this is like so dope. Like it totally gave me the vibe of like, yeah, like I just wanted to like listen to it over and over again. Like it gave me kind of like that, like on a lighter level, but when I was younger, obviously like Lil Kim and Foxy Brown, you know, made you feel a certain way, just kind of like how Cardi B and Meg make you feel now, or like a Princess Nokia, like that made me it from young to old. Like people could really be like, oh, okay, like this is dope, you know. And especially astrology is such a big part of like culture, you know what I mean, pop culture, and everybody's always talking about, you know, their signs and stuff like that. So Yeah, it was so like super dope. So I know factually, and you mentioned it before, that you wrote all of the songs. So what was your process? And was like, I just kind of want to like dive into the brain of Khafira, and especially as like a young artist, I feel like if we kind of got your perspective of how you were able to just like have an idea, delve into it, and then come up with like, or come out with like the final product, like how does that work?
It's a good question. I think I was also, just because I am so young, like I was confused also on how it worked. And I think what really like gave me a breakthrough in writing my own songs was I listened to Lizzo, and she came out with Truth Hurts. And I was like, oh, like music doesn't have to be like a melody. It doesn't have to be so, it doesn't have to make sense. Like all you have to do is just tell a story or hype someone up or just try stuff out on a page and see how you like it. So I think definitely with my first two singles, Fireflies and Summer Love, it was written by the great Antoine Brothers, and he did a great job. And I think it also gave me an idea of like, okay, well, what do I want for my own sound? Like, what do I want to bring to the table?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So when I heard, I know I wanted, like you said, like a versatile album, an EP. I wanted it to be different vibes and stuff like that. So when Sunshine was created, again, I was 15, and you were there, obviously. And we were with my producer, IQ, and we said, okay, can you make something real quick? And he was like, yeah, I have this beat for you. Let's see what happens. And I remember just going like, oh my God, like one word, sunshine, daylight, stars, bright, like so literal. But then he was like, no, that's a hit. Like what you need to do is just make it real simple. And I think like, I don't know what happened, but it was just like quarantine. I was just in my room and I was like, okay, well, let's see what's happening. Let's see, because what's going on. Because, I've written poetry and I've written different things that that kind of resemble songs, but it's never been like, here's the chorus, here's the verse, here's everything that goes all together with a sound. Like, with
I mean,
know what I mean?
That's the thing too. I mean, I think that would confuse me also, just like being a writer also. Like, I feel like, oh, I could write some stuff.
Right.
But in the process of like songwriting is very different, because it's like you are telling a story, but it's like you have to get to the point.
Right.
And it has to be cute and catchy.
Right.
And like, it's got a vibe.
Well, that's the same vibe, exactly. Because that's the same thing when I wrote Without You. It was kind of like I had written it for your birthday, and it was a different melody. It had the same kind of a reminiscence of the lyrics that it has now, but it definitely wasn't as catchy as Without You, Without You, Without You. And I think definitely I had to learn too with music, and when it comes to different, different sounds and trying to put it together, you can't become so attached to it. Like even if it's like, oh, this is like my song, I really wanted to sound like this, I really wanted to be like this. It's like I wanted Without You to be slower, but then I ended up being like, oh no, like sounds good, you know what I mean? But it's like you just have to be willing to be more adaptable. The same thing with like, I think Sunshine, it stayed exactly how it was supposed to be. Our vibes also stayed exactly how it was supposed to be, and I feel like as a writer too, those were big accomplishments because those were kind of written like poetry. It was like a story, and I knew, okay, I'm gonna describe him, I'm gonna do this, like I had like an image, and luckily it just came out, And for Sagittarius Babey, my producer also helped me write the hook. I definitely wanted it to be melodic, and I'm happy that I got those bits in there, so I'm really happy.
And all of like, I love just like, I don't know what you call them, like the little background, like ad-libs and stuff like that.
Ad-libs, No, that was so great. And even that, like, that was definitely like, okay, go for it. Like, get out of your comfort zone and just go for it. Like, period. You know, like, everything you would want to hear, like, to hype you up. Because, like, even though people hate to admit it, it's like those animated noises is what makes people love someone. Like, or like a Cardi B. You know what I mean? Like, that's why people love it so much.
Yeah,
it's
for
like,
sure.
It's odd, but it also works.
Yeah.
So I think definitely writing for me was about being adaptable and about, like, willing to change, but also knowing that like that it may not be the same as it was when you first write.
Right. Well, and I think that's the great thing about being an artist, and even just like knowing art, is that even though there could be qualities of like perfectionism, within us as artists, we still have to allow, learning and life and wonder and curiosity to kind of like fill in the gaps, because you just never know, while you're creating, something else could be birthed. Like something else could be created, know? So what do you think?